Hi everyone, welcome back to our series on delay analysis methods and best practices. So far, we've explored the most recognized techniques used to evaluate extended durations caused by project delays. We've previously covered impacted as planned, time impact analysis, windows analysis, as built versus as planned. In today's session, we will dive deeper into the collapsed as built method, a straightforward but often overlooked retrospective technique. We will discuss how it works, its key differences from other methods, and the main challenges associated with its application. What is collapsed as built? As the name suggests, collapsed as built starts with the actual progress recorded in the project's as-built schedule and then systematically removes identified delay events to assess their impact. Unlike other methods, which often require both an as-planned schedule and an as-built schedule, collapsed as-built only requires the as-built schedule. This makes it a viable option when a baseline schedule is unavailable or unreliable. However, the as-built schedule must be logically linked, meaning it should accurately reflect all actual events, durations, and dependencies that occurred throughout the project. How is collapsed as built performed? The process follows three key steps. First, obtain a fully developed as-built schedule. This schedule should incorporate all project records, including reports, site inspections, meeting minutes, and progress updates. It must reflect actual start and actual durations and actual finish dates and delays that impacted the project's completion. Second, identify and remove delay events. Similar to as built versus as planned, the first step is to pinpoint the major delay events in the as built schedule. The key difference is that instead of comparing planned versus actual progress, we remove those delay events one by one to see how the completion date shifts. Third, recalculate the completion date. Once delay events are removed, the as-built schedule is recalculated to determine when the project would have been completed if those delays had not occurred. The difference between the original as-built completion date and the adjusted collapsed completion date represent the critical delay duration. Key differences from as planned versus as built. At first glance, collapsed as built may seem similar to as planned versus as built, but there is a crucial distinction. As planned versus as built compares planned versus actual progress to analyze deviations. Collapsed as built removes delays from the as-built schedule to determine the project's hypothetical completion date had those delays not occurred. This hypothetical approach makes collapsed as built less commonly used, as it relies on assumptions rather than comparisons. Challenges of collapsed as built. Despite its simplicity, collapsed as built has significant limitations that affect its reliability and acceptance in delay analysis. First, hypothetical assumptions. One of the biggest concerns with this method is that it relies on hypothetical modeling. By removing a delay event, we assume that the project would have continued without interruption and that no other factors would have influenced progress. However, in real-world construction, removing one delay does not necessarily mean that the project would have finished sooner. This assumption-based approach makes it difficult to argue this method as completely objective analysis, especially in legal disputes where precise cause and effect relationships are needed. Bias towards one party. Because collapsed as built is a retrospective model, it can be biased in favor of party conducting the analysis. The issue arises because the method collapse delays sequentially, meaning the project timeline shrinks back to the next major delay. In some cases, this can distort the true impact of certain delays, making them appear less significant than they actually were. Does not address concurrency. Another major drawback is that collapsed as built does not properly evaluate concurrent delays. In window analysis, we examine delays in a specific time frames, allowing us to identify if multiple delays were happening at the same time. But in collapsed as built, because delays are removed retrospectively, we are not studying the interaction of overlapping delays. This means that if two different delays occurred simultaneously, one caused by the contractor and one by the client, removing just one does not give a fair representation of what would have happened. Since concurrency is a major factor in delay claims and contract disputes, the inability of this method to evaluate concurrent delays is a serious limitation. These three challenges make collapsed as built less reliable in formal contract disputes. However, if there is no baseline schedule available and we only have as-built schedule, this method may still be used to gain insights into delay impacts, as long as its limitations are clearly acknowledged. Practical example of collapse as built. Let's walk through an example to see how this method is applied. Suppose construction project started in June 2024 and was scheduled for completion in early October. After analyzing the as-built schedule, we identify a major delay in substructure works of Building 2 that extended the completion date to 1st of October 2024. We then remove this delay event and recalculate the schedule. Without this delay, the project would have finished by September 10th, 2024. The difference of 21 days represents the critical delay attributable to this event. This simplified approach makes it easy to determine the delay duration, but it does not account for other potential factors that could have affected the timeline. To summarize, collapsed as built removes delay events from the as-built schedule to estimate what the completion date would have been without them. It is straightforward but relies on hypothetical assumptions. It does not account for concurrency. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this explanation valuable.